guys, we made it to Springfield and we're going to try to do a couple things tonight. The first is to go to the Fantastic Caverns, see what that's all about. Fantastic. And looks like maybe we get to ride a Jeep through some caverns, so we'll see how that goes.
Folks, you all ready to go in and see the cave?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, follow me right down this ramp. We'll be in this Jeep right out here. We'll get our tour started today, so come on down, folks. Blue dot, blue dot. Blue dot.
That's why they give you a handrail. It's weird.
Isn't that cool?
That is nice. That tree's got purple leaves.
Steam generator.
What is it? Steam generator. Steam generator. Wow.
All right, guys. Does anybody think they might know what this actually is right here?
Steam generator.
You're exactly right. Yep, this is a steam-powered generator, folks. This is how we powered the very first lights we ever had here at Fantastic Caverns, all the way back in 1887. How it would work is you get a fire going in this bomb chamber. The heat from this fire would boil water that we have in a water tank here. That boiling water would create steam. Steam would create pressure right here in this pipe work. That pressure in turn would push our piston up and down, spin our wheel, turn our belt, generate electricity right here in our generator. This generator would then transfer that electricity down our string of lights so we could actually see within Fantastic Caverns. Only problem was, folks, if your fire went out, so did your lights. So luckily for you folks, we don't still use this. You have to worry about those lights going out on us today. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and head down to our first stop here. Real quick, I do want to let you know there are a couple of low spots in here. It's nothing to get worried about, though. Just trying to shine my light and say low spot. I need everybody to look up. How's that sound? All right. So that first low spot's right here in front of us. So watch your heads right here for me. Right down this hill, we have our second low spot, and after that, we're probably low spot for about 40 minutes. So just watch out for these two guys, and we'll be scot-free. Watch your heads.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So you mashed my head down.
All right, guys. So in any cave system, you're going to have three main zones or parts of your cave. You're going to have your entrance zone, which we just drove through, our twilight zone, which we're in now. If you look up there in front of us, you're going to see our dark zone. Ooh.
Oh my.
Now here in the twilight zone is the last possible place where any sunlight from the entrance zone can reach back into Fantastic Caverns. So from this point on, without artificial lighting, it'll look a whole lot like what's up there in front of us.
Yeah.
Just completely pitch black. Luckily, I did bring in my lighter with me today, so we don't have too much to worry about, folks. Yeah. But there's just a couple things I want to let you know before we head up here. First one is that what we're driving on right now is an ancient underground riverbed. That's how our cave was formed, was by an underground river eroding away at the layers of limestone in here. Eventually, that underground river left Fantastic Caverns as you see it today. So when you think Fantastic Caverns, think underground river and limestone. The second thing is, if you look right underneath this rock awning here, you're going to see a bunch of things that look exactly like icicles.
Yep.
Those are not icicles. They are the beginning formations here at Fantastic Caverns, and we call them soda straws. The reason we call them soda straws is because, well, they look exactly like a drinking straw, but on top of that, they are hollow. And folks, I do not suggest sucking on these straws. It's not going to taste very good. It's going to taste quite earthy. But these soda straws are made by a mineral we call calcite. Calcite is closely related to what's in our bones, calcium, and it's found in our limestone. So what happens is, as rainwater falls on the surface, it seeps through our soil until it eventually reaches our layers of limestone. As that water percolates through our limestone, it picks up that calcite, and it begins to deposit that calcite on the surface of our cave ceiling here, starting those little soda straws. Now from these soda straws, we're actually going to get some of the larger formations we have here within our cave, but I'm going to talk to you about those larger formations right up here at our next stop. Alright guys, so I showed you some little itty bitty baby soda straws, but if you look above the back of our tram here, you're going to see some slightly larger ones. Now when they get to this size right here, they're about 5 or 6 inches long. That hollow tube actually clogs up with all that calcite. That water, it's got to move somewhere now, so it starts running down the side of our soda straw, forming our stalactites. Those stabby little fingers all over our cave ceiling. Kind of look like carrots or turnips. Now as water, that calcite-rich water, drips off the end of these stalactites down to the cave floor, we can actually see formations begin to grow off our cave floor. Those cave floor formations are called stalagmites. And you'll see one on the driver's side here of our tram. Now, if a stalactite and a stalagmite ever grow so close to each other that they actually touch and join into one formation, that one formation is known as a cave column. And I'll be able to show you a couple of very large, pretty ones at the very end of today's tour. This very large formation was known as a cave drapery, or a cave curtain. And cave draperies form a little bit differently than some of our other formations in here. Instead of that calcite-rich water dripping straight down forming a soda straw, it actually moves across our cave ceiling. And then eventually, as more calcite builds up, it leaves us with this curtain or drapery-like shape. That's where the name comes from. Now folks, I do not know the exact age of this formation, or the formation directly above it, or for that matter, almost any of the formations here within Fantastic Caverns. But what I do know is that these formations grow at an average rate of a cubic inch every 100 years.
Oh my Lord.
Very fast. Folks, I'd like to introduce you to the world's straightest column.
I think that's
Does anybody think they might know what this actually is right here, though?
What? It's PVC pipe.
Not PVC.
Steel.
Steel. Cast iron, yep. This is a well casing. What happened with our well casing here is actually quite a funny story. Back in 1941, the farmer that used to live directly above us here, well, he decided he needed to give himself some water for his farm. And he knew this cave was right below him. So that farmer, he wrote some calculations, and he determined that if he drilled right there, he'd miss our cave wall by over 10 feet. That farmer was just a little bit off, folks. This well casing is actually supposed to be 10 feet on the other side of that there wall. But there is 3 important things I want to point out about this.
It's like they're using it.
First is, this used to be a completely black cast iron pipe. But because of all that calcite-rich water that's been dripping down for the past 78 years, it's turned completely white because of that calcite.
Wow.
It has officially become a cave formation. So out of a man-made mistake, we now have a natural formation growing. Second thing is if you look up here where the well casing enters our ceiling, you're going to see a bunch of long, stringy things. What those are an oak tree's roots. And that oak tree is currently 92 feet above us, above the Earth's surface.
Wow.
Those roots have traveled nearly 9.5 stories down just to get a sip of water from our cave system today.
Wow.
Aren't we special, folks? And the last thing is, if you look behind our well casing here, you're going to see some little white ridges, almost look like veins up there.
Yeah.
What those are the beginnings of some cave draperies, just like the ones I was showing in the last room. And they're so cute, they're only 78 years old.
Wow.
And we had a geologist come out last year and measure those draperies. He told us the biggest one in height was about 3/4 of an inch. So if it took 78 years for the largest one to grow this big, I want to know how long you guys think it took to grow this one up here in front of us.
About 1,000 years or more.
At least 79 years. Honestly though, guys, your guess, well, it's just as good as mine. Best answer I can give you here today is a very, 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 very long time. But I'm actually going to let you guys experience our cave in the natural setting. Anybody think they might know what the natural setting of a cave is? Dark, you're exactly right. I'm going to turn the lights on you folks today. What's a good cave tour without turning off the lights? Alright, so are you guys all ready to go experience complete natural darkness?
Sure.
Sure, alright.
It's not like it's
Don't usually do that every night.
I'll make sure I stay back here.